Good morning. It is Monday, April 21st. So bear with me, this is going to be a long one. We are entering some incredibly intense energy. It actually kind of started like Saturday night, and it's going to continue throughout the week and build up into even more intensity. So I really want to make sure that I'm very clear and I'm getting this out there as much as possible. This energy that we have going on is going to be really difficult for those of us that have the traumatized brain. It's going to be difficult for people that are not used to things going wrong for them at every turn as well. So it's hard for everybody. So what we have happening right now is this T-square between Pluto in Aquarius, Mars in Leo, and the Sun in Taurus. And what's happening is that back and forth with the Pluto and Aquarius being that destruction of everything around us, the intensity of what's happening out in the collective, that is at odds with Mars and Leo, where we want to finally take action and we want to get stuff done and we want to get out there and quite honestly have a little bit of fun. But when we have this type of opposition, oftentimes we see that personal planet acting out in the ugly ways, right? It's fighting against that destruction. So sometimes in this case, we could see some very dramatic behavior from folks. We can see people getting angry and lashing out in quite dramatic ways. There is potential here for violence, angry outbursts, things of that nature. Can be very selfish type of behavior as well. So really watch out for that, okay? Now, the tendency here with the T-square is we're feeling that back and forth, but we don't really know what to do because, well, it's kind of hard to plan for the future. It's hard to take action moving forward when everything feels so uncertain. So there's a tendency to want to hide in that focal point. So that would be the Sun in Taurus. There's going to be this desire to find a comfort space, to find somewhere where you feel okay, where you feel safe, maybe even like doubling down on focusing on your finances here as well. But we have all this stuff happening in the world around us that's like kind of poking at that, right? And eventually what ends up happening is that focal point explodes into the opposite space. And in this case, that is Scorpio. So we need to watch out for intrusive thoughts, falling into that like deep darkness, that intense psychological space. I personally am struggling with the intrusive memories. Those of us that have that traumatized brain understand that this is why we can't just let it go and move on, because we can be minding our own business. I was literally just washing a pan and got hit with a flood of intrusive memories, and next thing I knew, I was crying and angry about everything that's happened since 1993. So we've really got to make sure that we're really aware of what's happening in our brains right now, and make sure that we're not sinking too deep into that depression and that hurt that is in the air right now. We also have Mercury, my brain is stopping. Saturn, the North Node, and Venus all piling up on each other in Pisces. The last time we had these three in a conjunction together was in September of 2013. And that was in Scorpio. Now, I looked that up and found the date, and unfortunately, that was also one of those intrusive memories that pops up from time to time, because it was not a good thing. So what you could find here is people using the emotional stress that we're under to kind of get what they want out of you, to maybe be a little underhanded in their behavior. So really watch out for that. Make sure you've got good, strong boundaries when it comes to that. There could be restrictions on things like finances, women's issues, and things of that nature, just women in general. This could also be showing up as like it's sneaky type of energy. It's like the powers that be doing things in a quiet way to create more restriction. There is a lot of karma with this, okay? So from my experience last time, it was nearly instant karma, like within a couple of days. So making sure that you're not like using somebody else's emotional distress to get what you want out of them, because that will come back to bite you very quickly over the next few days. Really make sure that you're focusing on your dreams that you're trying to follow, the things that you're trying to build. If something is stopping you, getting in your way, slow down and assess that instead of lashing out. This is a good time to focus on that. So especially when it comes to financial things. We could see breakups today. We could see commitments today, leaning a little more towards the breakups considering everything else that's going on right now. But just make sure you're taking care of yourself. Look for the things that keep you here. And do your best to, you're not going to get the ugly thoughts out of your head. They're there. That's what the trauma brain does, okay? But look for the things that keep you here. For me, it's my dogs. As much as they drive me crazy and cost a lot of money and keep me from doing things I want to do and create extra work for me, they've kept me alive for the last 8 years, okay? So look for the thing that keeps you here. It's going to be a rough few days. So let me go ahead. Oh, and the moon is in Aquarius, okay? So it's being ruled by Uranus and Taurus. So that underlying uncertainty and anxiousness in the air is really there on that subconscious and emotional level as well. So really make sure you're taking care of yourself right now and you've got those boundaries in place. And if you need someone to talk to, try to find someone that is safe for you, someone that you can reach out to. Reach out to me if you got it. I've been there. I get it. I know exactly how it feels. And I'm not one to be out here giving bullshit advice about, oh, it's just life. No, I know how it feels, okay? So I'll get your cards for you guys. The energy for the day, for the collective energy for the day. We have the sun, right? This is actually giving me like this energy of trying to avoid, and that's what we're going to be doing. That's likely what we're going to be seeing, is trying to hide in that sun in Taurus, right? Of trying to do our damnedest to ignore what's going on, stick our heels in the sand, and pretend like nothing's happening so that we can feel safe and comfortable, okay? So that is kind of this energy of what can I do to avoid what's happening. This fixed T-square is rough. I have a fixed Grand Cross in my natal chart. It's stubborn. It doesn't want to admit to what's going on. It wants to do what it wants to do, right? So there is this energy of wanting to just, pretend like nothing's happening and just do what you need to do anyway, okay? But that may not work out all that great, okay? What to focus on today? What does the collective need to focus on today? The Knight of Cups. We need to make sure we're being kind. We also need to make sure that nobody's playing Captain Save-A-Ho here. That's why the one thing that I don't like about this card is this is like that knight in shining armor kind of energy. Here, let me come help you. Oh, you're not doing well? Hey, I'll come sit with you. Let's go have a drink. Blah, 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 blah. And they're usually going to disappear just as quickly as they came in. So watch out for that. Focus on that. This is actually giving me that Saturn, Venus, North Node in Pisces energy there. Pay attention to that. Focus on that. If it makes you feel good, awesome. But also make sure that you've got your boundaries and you're not letting that go too far, okay? So there is this desire to kind of almost hide today, okay? So watch out for that, and focus on that this is a love bombing energy, okay? So focus on that. Pay attention to that. What is showing up for you in your space that feels a little love bomby, that feels like maybe this is something that's just here to avoid the reality of what's going on, okay? What to avoid today for the collective? Oh, these Six of Wands. Yeah. that feel good, let's just pretend like nothing's happening. Okay, we're going to take a moment to feel good, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. When things are hard, there is nothing wrong with taking that time to just ignore it every once in a while to reset yourself. Okay, so that energy, right? Some happy-go-lucky, hey, let's go have a good time, Captain Save-A-Ho type of energy, love bombing energy showing up, but we don't want to take that as a win, right? Because something's not right here. So we do not want to be like, hey, everything's going great, okay? Avoid taking that as a win. Avoid ignoring your intuition just to be able to feel comfortable in a moment as well. So really take the time. We have the Hierophant on the bottom. So the Hierophant is all about, that's actually the Taurus card. So it's usually seen as a combination of like doing things the right way type of thing. It's also a card associated with commitment sometimes, but it's also like spiritual guidance, and this Neptune in Aries is ruling that big conjunction in Pisces. So there's like this delulu about, you know what, screw it, I'm just going to do this thing that makes me feel good. Okay, make sure that you're listening to the intuitive side of that is guiding you and telling you, don't get involved in something that is going to kill your authenticity. Make sure that you're standing on your own business here, and you're making sure that you're being authentic to yourself. Don't fall into the masks and things of that nature. Clarifiers for the Sun here, maybe. Doesn't want to give me any. Oh, we have a Six of Wands, that desire to move on, let things go, and yeah. So it said them intrusive thoughts, the intrusive memories, they might be popping up, right? And you might be trying to avoid them. You're trying to like this regret of the past, the how did I get here type of energy, right? And trying to move on from that. But the funny thing here is that the Six of Swords is moving towards that. So this is almost giving me this energy of like, this energy of lighthearted, hey, let's have some fun type of energy. But it's really like an avoidance. It's avoiding to, paying attention to those ugly thoughts that are coming up. It's almost, I'm hearing like avoiding it is going to make it worse. Type of thing. Like, we've got to face the reality of our lives, but it's hard sometimes. Okay, so it's almost like you're avoiding what's going on, and what that is doing is, yeah, it might make you feel like you're moving on for the moment, but it's moving you right into some type of regret and sadness. Okay. Clarifiers for the Knight of Cups here. Really? We have the Hermit. And Temperance. So this is giving me that energy of like somebody coming around and being like, hey, I've worked on myself, right? But ask yourself, is their behavior showing that they worked on themselves, or are they using that as their love bombing? Okay, so just keep that in mind. But Hermit and the Temperance is, it's doing that inner work. It's looking for your inner light, and it's figuring out how to turn all of that ugliness into something usable, into something productive. Finding that balance in the midst of things being ugly, right? I know I preached for months here about using all of those retrogrades that we were going through as a way to work on yourself, to find yourself. And yes, it brought up a lot of stuff. And I personally ended up making a couple of mistakes because it was bringing up stuff, right? But that's part of the process. It's part of the healing. You can't beat yourself up for doing it, so this is where we are. So there's like an energy of, hey, I want to help you, or somebody coming in saying they want to help you, right? Make sure that you're leaning on the healing work that you've done. Make sure that you are finding your balance here to be able to navigate what's going on around you. Following that inner light, listening to your intuition here, and listening to the healing work that you've done. This conjunction that Saturn North Node Venus conjunction may also test your healing, your emotional healing, your sobriety. Don't be like me. I've done failed on that one twice over the last few weeks. We're back on the wagon again. So really take the time, be kind to yourself, make sure you've got those boundaries and you're leaning on the healing work that you have done. You've got, you're taking care of yourself. It's not selfish to take care of yourself. It is not selfish to tell other people that you don't have the bandwidth for them. It's not selfish to have that boundary when it's clear that somebody is just love bombing you because maybe you're in a difficult space. So there's nothing selfish there. Take care of yourself first. Take care of your healing work that you've done. Clarifiers for our Six of Wands. Why? Oh, we've got a Queen of Cups and one more. The Magician. Okay. So we are avoiding that victory. We're avoiding the pat on the back. We're avoiding being like, yay, I made it. This is exactly what I wanted, right? This is giving me some sleight of hand. I don't know why. This is actually giving me it's a false victory, right? It is it's a victory that's happening because you're not seeing everything that's going on. I don't know why, but seeing these two together here is like there could be a Queen of Cups in your space that's like a water sign person, Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces. Probably Pisces, given the Piscean shit that we've got going on. And this sleight of hand going on with it here. So there's maybe this energy of it's a false victory. You're being lied to. You're being manipulated. Something is not quite right here. So this Knight of Cups that we have here in the focus, they could be somebody coming in saying, hey, let me help you heal. Because they see you in a hard space, and instead of helping you heal, they're actually weaseling their way in to take something from you. It is not unusual for people to pretend to want to help you heal and then keep you in that bad space because you're useful to them when they can use you, okay? Bottom of the deck is Knight of Wands. So that underlying energy on these clarifiers is kind of selfishness, right? This is that Mars and Leo. It's wanting to just do something for itself. It's not thinking it through. It's impulsive. It is just doing whatever makes it feel good in the moment. And that's not always a good thing when we're dealing with such intense energy and intense emotions in the collective. So really make sure those boundaries are good and strong today. You're taking care of yourself. You're taking care of your mental health. You're not allowing other folks to come in and take advantage of the fact that things are so difficult right now in the collective. Just make sure that you have people around you that you trust and that are safe for you right now.